Good afternoon, comic book fans. We're live, and it's time for Comics in 5 minutes. I'm your Elven host, Shorty, and today we're reviewing Scumbag, or The Scumbag. Doing it a day early, simply because, well, I was going through a list of all the things that we had to review, and that's the one we're more likely to have sold out or buy first thing tomorrow, because I've got one copy of it left already. Anything else? I've got a few spares, or I've got a copy because it's on my pull list anyway. So I figured, why not go for the one that's more likely to sell out and then I miss out on it. So, we're doing Scumbag by Rick Remender. And as I said in an early video, Remender's a guy whose name attached to a lot of things which interest me, but he's never done anything which has really grabbed me. He's never done anything where I'm like, oh my god, finally, yeah, I can't wait. This is a Rick Remender thing, which is going on my pull list. Amazing. And I don't think it's going to work here again. It's not to say it's not a great comic book, but I just don't think it's for me. Basically, well, it's a mixture of spy story, like some amazing technology that they need to save the world, or at least, New York. And then with a bit of, like, they refer to it as almost like a Big Lebowski kind of, like, horrible character. And there's a few things straight away there which make me think, maybe it's not for me. Number one, spy stories are not my cup of tea. Not really a big fan of the James Bond franchise even. I occasionally watch the Bourne movies, but they're more for the action rather than anything else. And this is, like, really kind of over the top spy stuff. I've actually bookmarked a couple of pages here so you can see what kind of stuff I'm talking about. Because we have, just in panel there, yeah, there we go. Big action fight scene between a spy and a counter spy, and it is, big guy in a suit and a woman we're not wearing much, and massive razor sharp claws, and the dialogue is really, like, set up for that kind of thing as well. Like, the guy's name is Father Time. He always finds a way to work that into a conversation when he's fighting somebody. It's like, yeah, okay, fair enough, whatever. So straight away, feels like he's not my kind of thing. And also, when you're dealing with the idea of, like, a terrible human being, a la Breaking Bad or whatever, there's always the idea that this person is redeemable. If you're just dealing with somebody who's literally the worst, who has no redeeming features whatsoever, then I'm going to lose interest because, screw that guy. I remember many, many years ago watching Attack of the Block and thinking to myself, wow, these are the kind of people who I just wouldn't like at all. Like, they are horrible muggers. Like, ugh. But you get through the movie and realize that there's a lot going on there that you don't understand, and they're actually quite nice, charming, interesting people, and eventually you're rooting for them. And that's great. That's how these kind of stories should work. I mean, go the opposite direction, you're talking Walter White, who you should like, but turns out is an absolutely irredeemable, I was going to swear then, just not nice human being. And I think, because I'm not a big fan of Walter White, and it seems to be going in this direction, I'm probably not going to like it either. And in fact, I've got another page here to indicate this. This is a nice splash page, just giving you a very good idea about who this gentleman is. Leave this up for just a few seconds, because you really kind of have to take all that in, don't you? Terrible, terrible human being. Now, that being said, I do like the artwork. I've reviewed this artist before, and I've complained about the fact that he has a way of putting, like, a white border around all the main characters, and it just feels unnecessary. Now, big, thick black borders around the characters, that's like a real weird throwback. Doing this level of attention, this level of detail, excuse me 1 second, ticklish throat, I'm fine. This level of attention to detail in every single bit of work they do, I think throwing the border around it is, like, just a throwback, and it's unnecessary. The art is good enough on its own. That being said, I think there are a few points where it actually really does work, and it's more used for emphasis in the middle of a fight scene. Rather than just delineating the lines, it's kind of making them pop out. And that's something I never really picked up on the last time I was reading something about the same art. So, there is that going for it. And in terms of writing, the one thing I say is going for it, because so far it sounds like I hate it. I don't hate it. I'm just not going to read it. It's not my cup of tea. But if you are going to read something like this, if you do think the idea of a redeemable bad guy is something which could interest you, I've got to say I do admire the gumption. Just forgetting the fact that most stories like this would have an arc of character where eventually they come to a conclusion that they should save the world for noble reasons. It doesn't look like he's going to go this way. He's going to do it for his own self-interest and expect, like, brilliant stuff in reward for it. I think that is actually a very brave bit of storytelling. It might not work. It might end up being like people get to the end of it and think, oh my God, I can't believe I stuck with this for as long as I did. And it turns out there's no change. Without change, characters being static is kind of bad writing. But when you lean so heavily into it, which they clearly have done, they spend a lot of time at the beginning. Oh, and by the way, the first few pages where you get kind of like a narration about what's going on and you get little snippets of dialogue from the people who know him, that is particularly well done. So if they can do what they're doing in a way that stays as good as the writing is and actually carries on being like interesting and throwing cool stuff out there, maybe if the Scumbag isn't redeemable, maybe the story is. Who knows? If it's interesting, you pick it up, read it, let me know. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another review. Take it easy. Bye.